All right, so let's jump right in. We're living in a world that's all about data, algorithms and automation. But what if the single most important skill for any leader is actually something deeply human? Today, we're talking about empathy. I mean, really let that sink in for a second. As machines and AI take over more and more of the routine stuff, our ability to actually connect with people, to understand them, to feel with them, well, that becomes our superpower. It's totally irreplaceable. And that's exactly what we're diving into.
So who's our guide for this deep dive? Meet Avreeayl Womack-O'Neil. This guy is an incredible educational leader, a principal who's been on the ground in the trenches for over a decade. He hasn't just been talking about these ideas, he's been using them to completely transform school communities all across the globe.
And here's the thing about Avreeayl's philosophy. It wasn't cooked up in some academic ivory tower. Nope, this was forged in the real world. It was born out of a pretty amazing journey that literally took him from one side of the planet to the other.
So check out this journey. We're talking 15+ years that started in Los Angeles, then jumped all the way to the massive, bustling city of Shanghai, and then on to the incredible melting pot that is Singapore. I mean, can you imagine? Each one of those moves was a huge cultural shift, and it forced him to completely re-examine everything he thought he knew about leadership. And this is where he had his big aha moment. He realized, that the so-called Western model of leadership, it just doesn't work everywhere. You can't just copy and paste it. A leader who tries to ignore all those little cultural details and nuances, well, they're not just going to fail, they're going to fail spectacularly. And for him, that was the wake-up call. He knew there had to be a better way. And that better way? Well, it all starts by questioning something many of us were raised to believe was a good thing, the idea of tolerance. Avreeayl makes a powerful point here. He says that in the world we live in today, so connected and global, just tolerating each other, it's just not cutting it anymore. Okay, so let's break this down, because this is really important. Think about tolerance. It's passive, right? It's basically just putting up with something. It's the bare minimum. But empathy? That's active. That's work. It means you're actually trying to understand where someone else is coming from. You're engaging with them. It is a whole other ballgame. And that's why Avreeayl says we've got to aim higher. For decades, the big buzzword was tolerance. But that's the old way of thinking. Today, the real goal, the higher standard for any global leader, heck, for any of us, has to be genuine understanding, true empathy, and really active engagement. All right, so this all sounds great, right? But how do you actually do it? How do we make empathy a real practice? This is where we get super practical. Avreeayl came up with this fantastic, easy-to-remember framework. He calls it the 3 A's. It's super straightforward. First is anchor. You've got to know who you are, what your core values are. You need that solid foundation. Next, you adapt. This is all about being flexible, right? Using that empathy to figure out how to operate in a new culture. And the final step, you advance. You move the whole team forward, and you do it with total transparency to build trust. It's basically a step-by-step guide for leading with your heart. Now, when you use a framework like that, it leads to a style of leadership that's, well, it's not about hiding in some corner office. Far from it. It's a principle Avreeayl calls radical visibility, which I love, and it's all about making empathy something you do out in the open every single day. So what is radical visibility? It's simple, really. It means you stop thinking of yourself as the sole director of the movie. Instead, you invite everyone, parents, students, your staff, to be co-authors of the school's story. Think about what that means. It's empathy in action. It's saying, your voice, your perspective is so important, we're going to write this next chapter together. That's how you build real community and trust. So when you strip everything else away, the travel across continents, the fancy frameworks, all the strategies, it all comes down to one beautiful, simple truth. In this crazy, complex, automated world we're building, the most powerful tool any leader has is just their own humanity. The heart of leadership really is the heart. And that really brings this all back to you, doesn't it? It doesn't matter if you're leading a huge company, a small team, a classroom, or even just your own family. The question is, where in your life, right now, can you level up? Where can you stop just tolerating a different point of view and start actively, truly trying to understand it? Because making that shift, well, that could change absolutely everything.